What's up guys, it's James here, and in today's video we're going to talk about furnishing Airbnb properties. I'm going to talk about both the design element, how to furnish them, how to think about when you're furnishing your property, and then also the practical, how do you make sure that you don't miss anything, how do you keep track of it all, and buy all these different things, because in reality, if you're furnishing a property for short-term rental, you're doing more than just getting some basic, big ticket items. You're getting everything right down to the forks and knives, so it's important to stay organized. I'm going to talk about all that in this video. Now, before we jump into that, I do want to remind you there's links in the description down below. So if you are interested in investing in properties for short-term rental, you want to start buying short-term rental properties, actually owning them, and building massive cash flow and long-term wealth through doing that, then I highly recommend you check out the free training that's linked down below, where we're going to talk through our main 3 pillars for how to do that successfully and how to have great success investing in short-term rental properties. If you're interested more so in managing properties and you want to build a business with substantial monthly cash flow without having to invest into things like buying a property, then I highly recommend you check out our free training that's also linked in the description for how to earn a full-time income managing other people's properties on Airbnb. So wherever you are in your process, I highly recommend you check out one of those links that will help you to get started and give you some free tools. Both those trainings are going to leave you some free tools to actually help you get started. So with that being said, let's jump right into it and let's start with the more design-focused elements of furnishing an Airbnb property. How do you want to think about it? Well, it really does depend on the type of property that you have. But for this video, I'm really going to focus on more average type properties as opposed to very high-end properties. The majority of people are going to buy properties that are more catered toward an average person, not going to be buying super high-end luxury properties. So for the sake of that, let's keep it focused there. Now, for those types of properties, you're going to want to buy furniture that is really nice and really functional, but also very durable. And so a really good option for this is something like IKEA or Structube. Now, these types of furniture providers are really great because their furniture is affordable. It's generally very functional. Things you buy from IKEA are just very affordable, very functional, and they're quite durable. So they're going to last a relatively long time, and the replacement cost on them is going to be relatively low. That being said, if you do go the route of just furnishing your place with IKEA, it's going to look like an IKEA showroom. So for that reason, I recommend mixing in some design elements from Amazon just for simplicity, and because Amazon offers a wide variety of selections, so you can get all kinds of different pieces. You'll want to spend a bit of money on just decor, just design elements that are going to make the property look nice. If you don't have an eye for design, then I highly recommend that you work with an interior designer, and ideally one that specifically works with and has experience working with Airbnb short-term rental properties because they are quite a bit different from a property that someone's going to live in for years and years. So with that in mind, you're going to want to mainly shop at IKEA or buy secondhand so that you can again get that good mix of affordability and durability, and buy a lot of those big ticket items in a way where it's just going to save cost. Because ultimately what you want to be thinking about, your mindset when you're furnishing the place, is how can I provide value to my guests? Now, frankly, your guests aren't going to care if you spend $1,000 or $2,000 on a couch. It's not going to lead to better guest reviews. It's not going to lead to more bookings. It's not going to lead to a higher nightly rate. So the return you get on that investment of spending an extra $1,000 on a slightly nicer couch is just not really going to be there. So it doesn't really make sense. Whereas in your own home, you might want to splurge and buy something nicer because you know you're going to be sitting on that thing every single day. Your guests are going to be sitting there for a couple of days, so it's really not going to matter what it looks like as long as it's comfortable and it's functional. And then the big thing, again, that I always keep mentioning is durability, because you want to make sure that even if it's not taken super good care of, which it's not like your guests are going to be coming in and trashing the place, but they're probably not going to take care of it quite as nicely as you would as if it were in your own home. So you want to get something that's durable. And then again, affordability is a really big piece there because you want to make sure that if it does end up getting damaged or stained or whatever, that it's not going to break the bank to go and have to replace it. Again, if you go and buy a $5,000 or an $8,000 couch, that's going to sting a lot more than if you go to IKEA and buy a $700 couch. So those are the things where I really recommend trying to save your money and just kind of mix in the functionality and durability as much as possible. And then for a lot more of those design elements, I do recommend going outside of IKEA just so that you can get a place that actually looks really nice, has some personal touches. You can even shop local for a few kind of really nice pieces. So I like to really highlight each property with a few design pieces that are from a local artist if I can get my hands on something like that. That's a really nice advantage. And then also just just from a furnishing standpoint, from practically speaking, you want to make sure that you have all of the amenities that guests are going to need. One of the mistakes I see hosts making all the time is that they'll just furnish the place with the bare necessities. So you've got a bed with maybe one night table instead of two. You don't have lamps on the night tables, which is super inconvenient because you can't read in bed. You can't have lights on without getting up and then going and turning them off. That's just really impractical. So you want to make sure you put some thought into that. Also, leaving phone chargers around, and a lot of people worry about, are those going to get taken? Who cares? Buy them from Amazon, spend a couple dollars on a big pack of them, and it just doesn't really matter if someone takes them. It's just a cost of doing business, and it'll equate to maybe $20 over the course of a year, so it's just not a big deal. So really put some time into thinking about what are those convenience items that guests are going to really like to have. If you have a kitchen or a property that caters to families, then you want to make sure your kitchen is stocked with everything a family is going to need to do a bit of additional cooking, as opposed to just being able to heat up food in the microwave. So again, just think about what your guest is going to want. Think about what things are going to be valuable to them and add those things as furniture, as amenities, as appliances. Now, practically speaking, how do you actually keep track of this? Because if you think about it, there's hundreds of items that actually go into an Airbnb or short-term rental property. Everything from the large ticket furniture items to the bedding, the linens, to the decor, to all the appliances, all the extra little things like, phone chargers, cups, cup holders, whatever else other little thing you can think of that's going to go into the property. There's a whole bunch of stuff. And so I really recommend having a detailed list or a spreadsheet. There's actually a spreadsheet that we use for every single property that we furnish that outlines every single bedroom and outlines each item line by line that we're going to be putting into that room. And so you'll want to break it down, chunk it down room by room. Again, if you want to learn more about how you can get access to tools like that spreadsheet that we use for tracking absolutely everything that's already detailed with all the items that are needed for a bedroom, all the items that are needed for a bathroom, all that sort of stuff, then the link in the description down below for that free training will allow you to learn more about how you can get access to those types of tools as well. But really just take the time. And honestly, one of the best ways to build that kind of a list, if you want to build it instead of working with us and using ours, is just go through your own home that you've been living in for a while and just take an inventory of every single item in that room. Takes some time, right? But you have to go through and think about every single item that's in that room, add each one of them to a list, and then go from there. So you really want to make sure that you're organized about this. And if you are ordering, you want to, again, track it on a spreadsheet or something so that you can keep track of what you do have, what you don't have. Make sure you buy extras of things like linens that are going to need replacement so that if you end up having to replace, or I should say when you end up having to replace your linens, let's say, you already have them on hand ready to go and don't have to worry about ordering different linens that maybe are going to be your old ones are out of stock, whatever it might be. So having extras on hand is another big one. And I recommend, just as a side tip here, to have a closet in the property that is locked that has all of your sundries, so all of your replaceable things like replenishable things like toilet paper, paper towel, dish soap, hand soap, body wash, all that sort of stuff, just right in the property. It makes it really easy for the cleaners to go and access everything. And then you can also have some replacement linens, things like that. Once you scale larger, you can have a centralized kind of warehouse place or a storage locker where you put all this stuff. But the easiest solution, honestly, is just to have it in a locked closet at the property if you can swing that. So that's really all the tips I have around furnishing. We go into a lot more detail in all the specifics and have a whole bunch of different tools that we have. And we actually have an interior designer who we've trained to specifically work with short-term rental properties and work with our system. So if you want to learn more about how you can access that and leverage that for your own short-term rental investing, then I do highly recommend you check out the link in the description down below. And that'll give you access to that free training, some different tools and resources, again, completely free. And it'll give you the opportunity to talk to us about working with us directly if you are interested in having me and my business and investing partner, Riley, actually help you to build your short-term rental investing portfolio. Again, also in the description down below, there's a link to a free training if you want to earn a full-time income managing other people's properties on Airbnb, depending on which direction is the best fit for you. All that being said, I hope you liked this video. I hope you got value from it. If you did, hit that like button, give me a thumbs up on the video. It really helps me as I'm growing this channel to reach more people and to help more people to learn about short-term rentals. So if you could take a second to hit that like button, I would really, really appreciate it. And then also make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with the 2 new videos videos we post every single week. I know a lot of people like myself watch videos on YouTube regularly for a certain person, and then they don't actually subscribe. Oftentimes I find I just forget to subscribe, and then 6 months into watching the person, I finally go, wow, why am I not subscribed to that person? So if that's you right now and you are watching this channel and you want to be subscribed, make sure you don't forget and actually hit that subscribe button. All that being said, thank you very much for listening. I hope you got value from this. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.